Today we're talking with Charles Nenner about market cycles and mass psychology. We'll also be exploring Bulgaria with Jordan from Crypto Potato, and I have a very big red button. My name is Koen Schobbers and this is Bots TV. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Bots TV live from the headquarters of Bots in Haarlem, the Netherlands. Now, before we start, I'd like to say that everything you hear during this episode is not financial advice. Make sure to always do your own research. Now, today I'm sitting together with Herbert alone. Hey. Herbert, how are you doing? How was your past week?
My week is great. We have frost and snow and ice in Holland, and I love that. And what's more, we have all-time highs all over the place. And then I'm, of course, referring to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. They're all doing very well. And also some bots are doing great, performing very well.
Absolutely.
So I guess we'll have something to say about that in this broadcast today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Many all-time highs, and hopefully this episode is going to be your all-time high of today as well. Now, let's look at the schedule of today. We're going to kick things off with the news. Then we're going to talk to Charles Nenner about, or we're going to have a talk with Jordan during Bots Around the World. Then we're going to talk with Charles Nenner during the Bots topic section. Then we have very special news also involving the big red button considering the Bots League, and we're going to finish things off with the Bots Users section where we are going to talk with Hendrik. Now, we're going to, of course, talk about a lot of things today. And as always, you have the opportunity to ask questions in the live chat. And we can ask those questions for you to the guests, whoever that is, or we can answer those questions here at the table. So make sure to write your questions in the chat. So is Clubhouse worth the hype? Now, there's a new hot social app, and maybe you've heard about it. It's the app Clubhouse. Now, Clubhouse is an app for live group audio chats, and popularity is spreading fast. And it all started in Silicon Valley, because where else, right? Now, there is someone called Andreessen Horowitz, and he invested at 100 million valuation 10 months ago. However, at the moment, there was another investing round, and the value of the business is already 1 billion. Secondly, Tesla bought Bitcoin. Finally, we could have waited for it. Elon was already teasing us on his Twitter, but he finally bought Bitcoin with Tesla. $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin at around an average price, I believe, of 33 to 34K. The current price of Bitcoin, however, is 47.5 to 48K, so it's growing very fast. From paper banknotes to a digital currency. Now, throughout history, innovations in money have challenged and altered the structure of the financial system. The European Central Bank is yet again considering a digital euro. I think that's very interesting. In an earlier episode, we also spoke about stablecoins and bank developing their own stablecoin currencies. Very interesting news. Now, what are the pros and cons of such a digital currency? Make sure to write your opinion in the live chat. And then finally, can you seize what can't be accessed? German prosecutors have confiscated more than 50 million euros worth of Bitcoin from a fraudster. The only problem is, Herbert, they can't unlock the money because he won't give them the password.
Yes, isn't that
How
fun?
does that work? They somehow got hold of his ledger or Trezor or whatever hardware wallet, but they can't access the money, the Bitcoin. How does it work?
I would say the police need to reconsider what seizing actually is. If this is my wallet, you seize it, you have it, and I don't.
Everything that's inside, of course.
Yeah, that's right. What's inside, it's yours now.
The paper money, basically, right?
That's paper money. So if you have Bitcoin on a hardware wallet like this one, the Bitcoin is on the hardware wallet, but if you seize this thing, you can have it. You can't access the Bitcoin without having the PIN code. So if I'm the criminal and I have kept what's called the seed, I can go out, buy a new piece of hardware and restore the wallet. And then I still have my Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not inside anything. if you have the keys, such as the seed, you will still have the Bitcoin even though the wallet has been seized.
Yeah, so
It's
someone
different with Bitcoin.
Yeah, so someone can take your hardware wallet, but they can't take what's actually inside the hardware wallet without the seed. Now, the seed is not, it's not just a PIN code, right, that we have for a bank, like a 4-number code. It's actually a lot more.
The PIN code gives you access to this hardware wallet. The seed enables you to restore the wallet on a different piece of hardware.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I wonder, is Elon Musk or Tesla maybe also, you think, having a hardware wallet? Or would they use something
They
else?
very probably use those, or maybe they use a service which in turn uses hardware wallets. But hardware wallets indeed are considered the safest way to store Bitcoins because they're not connected to the internet, at least most of the time they don't.
Yeah, exactly. And when we talk about Elon Musk, $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and it immediately caused a pump in the Bitcoin price. What do you think of these big companies and also, of course, an S&P 500 company entering this cryptocurrency space?
Well, it's a sea change because before consumers entered the market and made waves, for instance, in 2017. And now big companies are entering. We had Square, we had MicroStrategy, now we have Tesla. Who knows who will Grayscale,
well. Yeah.
many of those. We also have banks writing reports on this, being in the press and changing their minds about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So there's a big change going on, and this will have consequences for the price of Bitcoin, no doubt.
And what I think is also very interesting was the news of yesterday, which we actually didn't mention just now, but that was that the oldest National Bank of America is going into Bitcoins as well, which caused another second pump to an all-time high of 49,000.
And MasterCard did.
And MasterCard did as well.
So
do you
it's
know
one
more about
after the other.
MasterCard?
Excuse me?
Do you know more about the situation with MasterCard and what they're going to do?
MasterCard is considering giving their card holders the opportunity to do payments with Bitcoin. So that will generate more demand for Bitcoin and in turn raise the price again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Bitcoin industry is growing very quickly. Now, on the other hand, we of course have the paper money. We have the banks. And whereas some banks, like the oldest National Bank of America, is jumping into Bitcoin, there's also other banks that are trying to basically digitalize their already existing currency. What do you think about the development for
That's the
banks?
phenomenon of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. And that's digital money, but it's not cryptocurrency. It's a new form of the usual fiat money. So that's still the same euros or dollars that we used to have, but just a digital version.
Yeah, you can't print them, but maybe you can print them like digital printing.
It can still be printed. The quantity of money around can be raised, which is impossible with Bitcoin. Yeah. So it's still the same old stuff, but packaged all new.
Same old story, but a new jacket. Hey, Herbert, we have a question from one of our viewers. Thank you for writing the question in the chat. Now, the question, Herbert, is, will Bitcoin go as crazy as in 2017? Now, you've already experienced Bitcoin since 2013-14. You've had the runs, you had the bear markets. What do you think about this cycle?
I think 2021 will be even wilder than 2017. It is wilder already because we've surpassed the all-time high of 2017. So this
big time, doubled.
Yes,
more
and we're inside a bull run right now, which will go much further. I'm not sure where it will end. When it will end, maybe end of this year, maybe beginning of 2022. Yeah. But we'll go to more further heights than we've ever been before.
Do you also think that because of the institutions buying in, besides retail, of course, like people like you and me, but also because of the institutions and the organizations, that the bull run can be extended in some way because there's more money that will that they're in it for the long term.
Yes,
they keep holding.
People say they're the strong hands. They're not. They're probably not panic sell. But they want to keep their Bitcoins for as long as possible. For instance, MicroStrategy are telling us they buy their Bitcoin and will never sell I'm not sure if your Bitcoin is of any use if you never sell, so I'm not sure what to make of that. But yes, this will. We have much stronger hands entering the market now. They spend lots more money. They raise the market cap of Bitcoin further and further. So this will be much higher. We go to much higher prices than we did before.
I'm very curious how this bull run is going to pan out. Herbert, thank you for your insights. This was Bots News. Now, the next section of this program would usually be a conversation with Jordan, and we were going to talk about Bulgaria, but unfortunately we have a couple of connectivity issues. So we're going to talk with Charles Nenner before, and the interview with Charles was done before the show due to time zone differences. It's a pre-recorded interview. If you have any questions, still make sure to write them in the chat, and we can answer those questions after this recording of the interview with Charles Nenner. The special guest in today's show of Bots TV is no one else than Dr. Charles Nenner. Dr. Charles Nenner is the founder and president of the Charles Nenner Research Center since 2001. However, Charles, your career started long before 2001. Could you explain a little bit about your career path?
Well, my career is that I studied medicine, and when I was waiting for a position, I saw a program of financial markets. And I thought that I could have a very nice input because I did research when people are psychotic all over the world, if that happens at the same time, and it did, and it worked in cycles. So I thought maybe the mass psychology will work in cycles also in financial markets. And I went to Merrill Lynch in Amsterdam, and then a couple of years later, I started my own firm on Wall Street. Which I sold out. And then in 98, I went back and I started working with Goldman Sachs. And after the Obama administration stopped all kinds of, let's say, things we did, constructions we did, then I started my own research firm.
Yeah, and you mentioned, sorry?
Yeah. So the research is based on what I call neural networks. It's computers that think for themselves. And it's based on the fact that moves in financial markets are not at random, they're predictable. What it means is if a move is starting to go up, you know how high it goes, and you know how long it takes, how many weeks, how many days until the top is reached. And then if there's a top on the cycle and the cycle turns down, then you know the market is going to turn down, and you can calculate how low it goes. So you can calculate mathematically exactly, actually, the computer can calculate exactly mathematically every move that's going on, especially in the Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin has almost no fundamentals. So it's not that suddenly a research program or anything fundamentally will come out. It's all based on emotions, and that's very easy for the computer to predict.
Yeah, and when we go more into what you mentioned, the cycle analysis and the neural networks, you use cycle analysis, pattern recognition, and many different indicators. And before we are now having this live chat, we spoke also about emotion and the fact that computers don't have any emotion, while when people are trading and putting their lines on the chart, there is emotion. What was the reason for you to eventually build a system that doesn't trade with emotion or doesn't predict the future with emotion?
Well, I was at the time I was in New York, and I was watching programs about Wall Street live, and it explained why the market goes up today, why it goes down today. And since there was not too much news, or they just brought up some news that had nothing to do with it, I came to the conclusion that there must be something else going on. It's just the emotional state of the market. And if that's predictable, and it is predictable because you and I might maybe have free choice, but if millions, 100 millions of people are doing the same thing, they neutralize itself, and there's no free choice. So the only thing you have to calculate is what their no free choice is, and when they're going into the market and when they're going out of the market.
Yeah, so it's a lot of psychology involved as well in the work that you do. And then eventually you had the financial markets in the 90s, and then the crypto industry came, well, maybe out of nowhere. What did you think first hand when you heard about cryptocurrency and about Bitcoin?
I tell you honestly, I didn't have enough insight, enough knowledge about it. I was too busy doing what I did. But then there were so many people who requested the Bitcoin forecast. So we added to the research the Bitcoin forecast. We have it 4 times a week. We show on Sunday, we show what the cycle looks like. So people don't have to take my work. They can see for it what the cycle looks like. And it's doing extremely well because it's very, like I said, very easy. We're not bothered by any fundamental research that comes out. So it's all emotions, and we just let the computer decide the buy and the sell levels.
Yeah, so you're also able to actually predict the future of, let's say, the Bitcoin cycle. Now, there's multiple cycles in the Bitcoin industry. We had, of course, the rally in 2013. Then we had the one in 2017. We're currently in a rally as well. And if you had to predict the Bitcoin future for yourself, looking at the emotions, but also the institutions and organizations that are adding Bitcoin to their treasuries, for example, Tesla recently, and I believe Miami did the same as well. Where do you think this industry of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is going to go?
You see, that's a good question, and I don't know if I'm the expert to answer that. I work with, is Bitcoin going up and down, which day it's going up and down, how high it's going, and the rest I leave to other people to give the interpretation. I have enough work to decide what the direction of the Bitcoin is, and when to sell and when to buy. The rest for me is speculation. I really don't have more information than other people, so I prefer to not go into that.
I think it's a great answer because the best entrepreneurs know what they're good at and they find a team around them to figure out the other stuff, right?
Right.
So when we look at Bitcoin, however, you eventually got questions from other companies, from clients. Those could be hedge funds, banks, brokerage firms, family offices, individuals. Those are like companies and individuals you've worked with. Since when did you hear them talking about Bitcoin and the interest of hearing more about it?
Well, about half a year ago, we really got a lot of requests from individuals for Bitcoin. And about 3-4 months ago, the banks came and the hedge funds came to join them. They want a bit longer term forecast, while the individuals want to have a bit shorter term forecast. So everything that they can get, if they go to charlesnenner.com, it's Nenner, Nenner, they can have a free trial for 4 weeks and they can see how we do it.
And when people can see how you do it, looking at the charts of, for example, the cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, actually, that's a good question as well. Do you only focus on Bitcoin or also other cryptocurrencies that clients are?
No, I only focus on this. I focus on Bitcoin because if you know where Bitcoin is going, you don't have to do anything else for the rest of your life. And if you don't, then you have to spread out over all kinds of other currencies and other assets. It means you don't know really what's going on. So one asset is good enough if you're good at it.
Yeah, focus. And when you compare with you have so much experience in the financial market and the different cycles and patterns that you've seen in all those years. When you look at Bitcoin from the beginning in the early 2009, 10s to where it is now, do you also see the same cycles and the same patterns and the same type of indicators that work during these Bitcoin cycles?
They work very well. Like I said, we're not bothered by any fundamental research coming out. For a while, we did only daily forecasts because we didn't have enough data. In order to do weekly forecasts, you need 15 years of data, but we're getting there. And soon we're getting monthly forecasts because we get more data. So we can do already longer term forecasts. But for the clients, we do daily forecasts, which usually means you take a position for 1 or 2 weeks, and like it looks now is the average trade is like 5,000-6,000 points, 7,000 points for a trade.
And when we move out of the cryptocurrency industry and look at the financial industry as a whole again, and more your own opinion and perspective, there's a lot of people talking about digital gold, about a store of value, about maybe even becoming a true currency in the future in the financial market, like Miami showed this week. Where do you think where the financial industry is going in the upcoming 5, 10, maybe 20 years?
I know as much as you. The news, I don't know if it's fake news. I don't know what's true, what's not true anymore.
You maybe have any thoughts about where things might head to? Maybe with the inflation that people talk about a lot.
Well, they talk about inflation for the last 30 years, and my research all the time shows there's no inflation. And I think we're in the stock market, we're getting ready for a major crash. It's going to destroy a lot of wealth that people have. And I'm afraid that all the newcomers that don't really know what they're doing, they just buy something because tomorrow the price is higher, are going to get hurt. So we start to be very careful over here. Probably the middle of March or so starts to be a very dangerous period. It's only a couple of weeks away.
And how did you get to that prediction again? Of course, you use models, but what's the thought behind the upcoming crash or the prediction?
Well, the thought is, I wrote about that if it will be so easy that the Federal Reserve keeps interest rates low and that keeps the stock market going, then we can do it for the next 100 years and everybody will be rich in the end, right? So something is not for real. It's just an illusion. And the day of reckoning is coming. And we have reached almost my upside price target for the markets. And the cycle is stopping in March. So it starts to be very risky.
And do you then also believe the Bitcoin cycle ends in March? I see many people in the industry talking about the bull cycle, the bull run ending at the end of this year, like August, October, December. But you believe it might be earlier?
No, the Bitcoin cycle continues just after the summer. We took profit at 46,500 because there was a price target, and we don't have a sell signal yet. So we give where it gives a sell signal, and as long as there's no sell signal, it goes up. So we have two kinds of forecasts. One is for conservative traders. It says, we were long all the time, and the target was 46,500. If we go much above it, I get higher price targets, so go in again. And speculative traders just stay long as there's no sell signal. But the cycles look good into the summer.
Yeah, and actually this night, let's say in Central Eastern time, we had a new all-time high as well of 49,000. Finally, because we were talking about the crash, last question, I'm interested in what you think about the big reset and people talking about that big reset. Might the crash in March be some sort of reset for many people?
Again, I don't know what they're talking about. If you can explain to me, but I get that question a lot. If you know what the definition is of the big reset, I could answer you, but until now, I don't know what it is.
It's interesting you get the question regularly. Now, the big reset is also going into inflation and the fact that there's so much money in the world and the value therefore becomes lower that eventually, there's let's say, a lot of money, but too little value, and therefore you get a crash basically because the prices rise in the shops and everywhere, but the value gets less of the money you have.
Yeah, but usually a crash happens unexpectedly when there's news out there that everybody knows it's already in the price.
Yeah.
So
buy the rumors.
Going to happen. So, something's going to happen maybe in the middle of March. Maybe the new mutation of the virus is going to overrule the medicine that we have, and we have a new crisis. I don't know. Something's going to happen, and it always comes from a place that you don't expect.
Yeah, I think that's a great end. Like basically in 2020 in March when COVID happened, there was a very big crash as well. Let's see what March 2021 will bring us, and if the predictions are going to be true in March. At least, Dr. Charles Nenner, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. And I wish you the best. We spoke before this interview as well. Good luck in America, where you're going to go very soon as well. And I hope the Charles Nenner Research Center is going to do amazing work in the financial industry in the upcoming future.
Yeah, just take a look for 4 weeks. You have a free trial and see how we do it. You don't have to take a trial. At least see how we calculate, so you have a new point of view how to approach markets.
Yeah, where can people find you? Would be good.
If they go to Charles Nenner, NENNER.com, they can sign up for 4 weeks of free trial, and then if they want to continue, they can sign up to continue.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Charles, for your time, and hopefully speak to you soon again.
Okay.
Yes, that was the interview, pre-recorded interview with Charles Nenner. Now, I still have this a very big red button on my desk, and we will talk more about this very soon. But first... Yes, bots around the world. And we're going to talk with Jordan. Jordan is a journalist at Crypto Potato. We managed to get a hold of Jordan. Jordan, welcome. Great you're here. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I hope that you can hear me very well.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you perfectly fine. Thank you.
Awesome. How are you doing?
Doing very well, thank you. Now, Herbert is sitting next to me. Herbert has some great questions, so I'd like to give Herbert... some room to ask some very interesting questions.
Let's learn a bit about Bulgaria, Jordan. For instance, how is internet penetration in your country? Do all people have access to internet?
Depending on what your perspective is on old people.
Is that difficult? So who has access to internet and who hasn't? Can you explain?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has access to internet. The problem is that people are not accustomed to it, so it's usually for the younger generation.
Very difficult to understand what you're saying. Do people have mobile internet?
Yes.
They do. How about crypto? Is crypto a well-known thing in Bulgaria?
Not really. It's, I think, working here. I'm sorry, a couple of different conversations.
What, so do you hear some other voices at the same time? There's another conversation going on.
Yeah.
Might it be the regie, the back office here? I'm not sure if they muted themselves, but that's probably the reason why we have some struggles to understand you. Oh wait, do you maybe have the stream open? That's a question. Like our Bots TV live stream?
Yes, I do.
Do you have it open, maybe?
I have it open, but I muted it.
He muted it. Okay, so that's okay. Well, let's continue. I mean, the situation in Bulgaria, of course, like cryptocurrency is nowadays a global phenomenon, and like Herbert just mentioned, what do people think about cryptocurrencies in Bulgaria? What's the feeling like?
Well, for the majority of people, it's still a new thing because Bulgarians are not very accustomed to any investment, especially the older generation. It's coming up for the younger generation, for us.
All right. You run a news website called Crypto Potato on cryptocurrency. Turns out to be very successful internationally as well. Can you explain how this has become so successful from Bulgaria?
Again, I keep hearing the other conversation behind on the line, so...
It's very difficult, yeah. I'm afraid I'm not sure how to mute the other conversation, also where the other conversation comes from. I'm not sure if it's maybe the back end of our show or maybe another complete other conversation, like maybe another meeting that's still on. Jesper, have I? Okay. Well, Jordan, let's make sure, so I just get a call. Let's make sure to stay in touch with the show and hopefully redo this session so that we can work out a good connection, so that we can really deep dive into the, well, cryptocurrency industry in Bulgaria, because we are very curious. And after all, it's bots around the world and we want to know how cryptocurrencies and bots are working around the world. So let's stay in touch for at the moment. Sorry that things don't run very smooth. Hopefully speak to you next time. And yeah, let's stay in touch.
Sure. I'm sorry for the situation as well. Thank you for putting us our flag there.
Yeah.
Hopefully next time
Your nation is definitely represented in the Netherlands here.
And the visual connection is obviously there.
The visual connection is working. At least you can see us. So that's good. That's good. But thank you, and we'll be speaking to each other absolutely another time when things work out.
Thank you.
So thank you. Okay, so bots around the world. Let's put the flag down again of Bulgaria. So yeah, sorry, apparently the connectivity or some other voices were disturbing the line and therefore our conversation with Jordan. But Jordan is the founder of Crypto Potato.
Yeah.
It's a very known website, and we definitely recommend you to check it out online. Unfortunately, Jordan couldn't really talk about it that much, but at least it's online. It's a website. We can access it, and we can still read all about
there
crypto.
and it's good.
It is good. So what have you read when you were on the website? I'm curious.
I don't remember. I have to confess. I consume hundreds of crypto news articles a day, and I don't remember which ones I saw there and which I saw elsewhere.
Well, probably most of the articles are the same anyway across different platforms. Like
There's
there's always
a lot
news.
going on, and yes, everybody has the same stuff. That's true.
Yeah. Now, talking about news, we also have special news about the Bots League. Yes, the Bots League. Might that be the reason why I have this very big red button on my table for 30, 35 minutes already? Yes, that is exactly the reason. And me and Herbert are joined by Arthur. Now, everyone knows Arthur already. Maybe not. Arthur is someone that comes by in the show regularly, talking about the Bots League as well. Now, Arthur is a bot creator, developer, and you're also the one that's basically overviewing the Bots League, right? So we're going to talk about the Bots League, but first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. We have lots of new creators coming in, so that's it's been quite hectic getting everybody connected, but it's going well, and we have lots of participants for the Bots League, so that's really great.
Okay. This is going to be a competition, right?
Yes.
It's like a sports event for bots. Who is going to be the referee?
Well, basically that's going to be me. So if algorithms do something,
You have a whistle there.
yeah, I have a virtual whistle. I'll text the symbol in the Discord when we have a problem.
So, can you explain a bit about the rules? Because I suppose there'll be rules that everybody has to abide by.
Yes. So basically, what we're looking for in an algorithm to win the Bots League is not only having the highest return. Obviously, we're going to make a special mention for the highest return, like we talked about last time. But just because you have the highest return doesn't necessarily make you the winner. If you have a drawdown of 80 or 90%, that's not something that most users will want. So we're going to call them back on that.
What's a drawdown?
A drawdown is when you're in an uptrend and you go a certain percentage down. So let's say you go 100% up, and then you go 50% down from the all-time high. Then the drawdown Then the drawdown is measured from the all-time high, the peak at 100%, all the way down to where it ended. So if for this scenario, it would be flat at the same level again.
Okay, so that's a correction you enter to make the competition more fair.
Yes.
Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we also take into account, basically what we're taking into account here is volatility. To put it more simply, like how much up and down does the algorithm go while it's climbing up?
Yes. Are there any rules that the competitors could try and cheat on?
Well, you could try to cheat, but it's pretty hard to cheat our systems because most of the systems are automated, but we also do manual checks. So it's really hard for people to try to sneak things past us when they're trying to buy into the smallest coin ever, that they're doing a mini pump and dump with themselves. That's not something that's going to be taken into consideration when we're doing that kind of practices.
Okay. So if you're a soccer team and you're playing a game, the coach might take out a player and put in a new one.
Yeah.
Can the bots creators change their bots during the game?
No, it's actually not allowed. So when your algorithm manages to get itself disqualified, it doesn't mean you can just substitute it for another one, because we're all starting the Bots League all at the same time. We want everybody to have a level footing, but that also means that you can't just halfway through the competition switch runners. If you're doing a marathon, you can't just halfway say, "Oh, I'm a little bit tired. Let me switch. Let me switch to another runner."
Have a new kind of me. Yeah. But is there such a thing as a yellow card before you get a red one?
Yeah, so we wouldn't just kick anybody out of the league without notification. If we basically use the same protocols as we use for our algorithms. If we see something going wrong with the algorithms or the training in a way that is undesirable, then we will contact the bot creator, say like, hey, what's going on? Maybe you have a mistake in your systems, everything up and running. And based on that conversation, you can go to immediately, okay, we're going to delete this. Or leave it as a warning, say you need to improve your life, and then we can keep going with the competition.
In addition to this, is it also possible that a bot is eventually removed because it does not perform?
Yeah, so what we don't want, like for demonstrative purposes, it's interesting to have if we have bots that do -80 or -90, but for the competition, it doesn't really. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in having somebody do less than flat, basically. That's not going to be interesting for anybody.
Yeah. So you're not allowed to change your bot during the game, but is it possible that you will change the rules during the game if you find out, well, we've invented this competition, but it doesn't work very well for this and that reason? Can you change the rules?
So our intention is not to change the rules. However, also always keep in mind that, like with competitions like this, it's the way we've set it up is fairly new. We want to make sure that the winner is not hasn't won by some hack, because you can hack competitions, like certain metrics, so to say. And if we find out if this does occur during our competition, we will need to have a serious look in this and determine whether or not we're going to make exceptions for this or change the rules in that regard.
Yeah, and if I can ask a question in between, we still have this red button. And I would like to ask the question, can people still register for the Bots League?
Unfortunately, like if you want to register now, you've been too late. We already had an extended writing period, so if you're getting it now, that's unfortunately too late, and you missed out. So better luck next time. Because
the Bots League is starting today.
Yes,
at 4. Officially at 5 during this live show, let's say, and we have a special red button and someone has to press that button. Now, I would like to give you the honor to at least press the button. It's a visual representation of starting the Bots League. Now, the Bots League is going to run for how long, Arthur?
It's going to run for about 3 months. And at the end of this period, we're going to have a look at, obviously, who did the best in terms of just price percentage, like who made the most virtual cash. And whose algorithm did best.
Yeah. And how many teams are there? Any idea?
We have around 20 teams that have set up currently that we have confirmation from as of last week. But there were also quite a couple of teams who were trying to finish up everything this week. So we're going to have to see during the next episode how many people were actually successful with getting their service up and running.
Yeah, I looked at my bots app today, and it was very striking. Many bots are performing extremely well.
Yes.
The past couple of days.
Yes.
Is that because they have exercised for the competition or what?
No. So like quite a lot of the algorithms on the platform, they look for really very specific market movements, and they don't happen that often. So it might take like a month or two for something to actually see before you actually see something happening in the WhatsApp, and then all of a sudden it does 100% or 40% or 30% in a day. And
so that can be a coincidence, just a bot suddenly finding the opportunity it was looking for all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we like to see. Now, Herbert, shall we let Arthur push that special button? The big red button.
I really think it's now is the time.
It's been a theme throughout this episode because it's the start of the Bots League. So Arthur, the kickoff of the Bots League, it's up to you. We're going to start the Bots League, and as you mentioned, it's a couple of months. We're going to follow it closely during this live show. We're going to have the standings from the next episode as well in 2 weeks. So please push the big red button and start the league.
So guys, good luck. I mean, I really hope that you win our main prize. Two and a half grand in cash is not bad, but the 250,000 assets under management, that's what you're going for. So I wish you guys all the luck, and let's start a wonderful league.
There we go. And it's live. So the Bots League is finally live. It's a big project, and we're going to see how things are running. So after all, each 2 weeks during an episode of Bots TV, we're going to have a look at the standings, and we're going to discuss what's up with the Bots League. Arthur, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your knowledge about the Bots League as well, and see you next time.
See you next time.
So next section is going to be an interview with Hendrik. And Hendrik, I mean, he's been in the live show a couple of times as well. He knows a lot about Bots Gold, and it's the Bots Users section. Yes, we move on to Bots Users, and therefore we also move on with a new guest. Now, Hendrik, you're here back again in the show. I think you've been in the show since the first one, so three in a row. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, last time I was not physical here, but I was at home. But
you were still in the show, right? Yeah,
for sure. I got text messages all around the world, so yeah, I was in the show.
You have a fan base now.
I have a fan base already. Yeah,
and you are answering all those questions from people around the world as well.
I'm answering all questions.
Yeah.
We do everything for our clients.
So Hendrik is CEO of Bots, but also mainly involved with Bots Gold.
Yes,
right. Very important. Now, Herbert, some very important questions from you as well as from the audience, which I will be asking you later. But Herbert.
That's right. Many people want to know if it will be possible in the future. Apparently, this is something they would like to do, to partly withdraw money from a bot.
Yeah.
So
we hear that more often. Yeah, it will be. It's on our for the technical people with us. It's on our backlog. It's called this a list with all tasks we are going to develop in the upcoming year. So yes, we're going to do that. It's very important for us because it's also a reason we also want to have people build up a second income with bots. So then it's nice that you can also partly withdraw a little bit to spend it actually. But in the end, we also say, we also know the compounding theory. So profit on profit is also really nice. So, but yes, we're going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one on the list, people want to know when can bots trade Forex?
Yeah, that's not on our list yet. So that will take a while.
We do have an Autobot, so we're exploring into different industries.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to have, it's a long story for now, but we're going to come with crypto shares. And it's also sort of Forex in, but the real Forex market and the shares market will be like end of the year and probably 2022. Yeah.
And why is that? Is that difficult?
Yeah, it's more difficult. You need more regulations as well, especially for shares. It's important. So that's why we started. Also, that's one of the reasons we also started in crypto, because it's sort of easier to start. And now you already see you also have to regulate in a lot of countries, and that's also with shares. And that's for us. The rollout will be very important to also partner with a lot of companies who already have those regulations, so you can roll out very easily.
So this is not a technical issue, it's a regulation issue. Yes,
for sure. Yeah.
Now, during this interview, of course, make sure that if you have any questions for Hendrik, that you write those questions in the live chat so that we can ask those questions to Hendrik. And just very quickly, in between, there was a question from someone in the audience asking, will you implement shorts on bots? And if yes, which type of shorts?
Yeah, we will have shorts. I'm not like the real expert on that one, but it's on crypto. You have shorts on futures. I may believe it's not that easy as in shares with crypto, but it will come probably. I cannot really say a date, but I think Q3, Q4 of this year.
In the future.
Yeah, it will be the future. Yeah, for sure. But it will come. But please keep in mind that sometimes people also want to call things about leverage and stuff like that. We are also we don't want to be too risky on our platform. And our bots, if you have the good ones, who trade from US dollar, they can also go out. And when there is a downfall, they go out, which is also very nice. But you cannot make profit on a downfall.
Better slow and steady than quick and risky. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Many people get tired of looking at their app every day to decide for themselves if it's the right time to buy or sell. So they want to know, can you program a time to invest, or can you make a limit order that gets automatically executed at a certain level of price?
Yeah.
So
the first one, we want to implement that one as well, so that people that you can every month part of your salary will go to the certain bot or something. Yeah, that's for sure something we will implement.
Automatically, yeah.
The stop losses, we are like Arthur was also net in in the show, and he's from the bots created department, of course, and they have a strong belief that you always should your algorithm let the algorithm do the work. So if you are going to put stop losses on your algorithm again, it's trading against the algorithm. So we're not like a favorite of that one. So we are careful with stop losses, and keep in mind that all bots, a lot of bots have stop losses themselves. And sometimes they have a certain reason to accept a certain loss because they make new trades after that one again. So we are very careful with trading against the stop losses, and against the bots again.
You would get a new level on the bots, like treating the bots as coins.
Yeah.
And trading for their prices.
So people start trading with the bots again. That's already happening. So people call me, they say, I stopped one and started again, and stopped one and started again. Yeah, I can tell you, don't do that, please.
Okay, let me see. Here's a question that I have to read aloud because I don't even understand it myself. But I'll just be the person to pass it on to you. Please explain how your current liquidity model is impacting the revenue the bots are able to generate in a negative way.
Oh, it's a very hard question. It's too hard to answer. No. That's not that. It looks more difficult than it is because the liquidity model is a model where we actually make sure that people won't have too much risks. So what we do, for example, if a bot is trading smaller coins, our liquidity model calculates with how much of the volume the bots can trade in a certain coin. Mm-hmm. So like it's not a negative way. I see the word in a negative way. No, it's protecting the clients because we had in the beginning a certain bot who traded like with 75% of its volume in a really small coin. And when the coin dropped, he couldn't sell it because the volume was too big and the market was not liquid enough, so he couldn't sell it. So that is what our LM,
high risk
liquidity model does. It calculates how much of the volume a bot can trade with in certain coin markets.
Yeah, in a safe environment, basically.
Yeah. But it calculates, okay, this market is that liquid, is that much capacity in a market, so you can trade with this volume in this market.
You don't want to influence the price too much by selling or by buying.
Yeah, but also like in small, sometimes we have bots with, for example, 1 million on it, and it starts trading in a market which is really small with a low market cap. You sell, you buy, and you cannot sell it.
You can basically pump and dump the market. Like it's a small cap coin, you put in 1 million, it rises the price, you sell at the top.
But it says like in a negative way. It's really about protecting you guys. That's what it does.
And we have another viewer question. Again, thank you for writing those questions in the chat. Now the question is, what is the current status of the DNB situation?
It's under discussion, so we are in discussion with them. We have had last talk, I think, 2 weeks ago, and we had some last things to fix internally and to report. So and now it's waiting for the next conversation again, and then we hope to know more. So that's the status for now.
That is the current status of the DNB situation.
We are pretty far in that way, but it's now waiting.
Well, Hendrik, again, thank you for being here in the live show. Are you going to be there in 2 weeks again?
Hopefully. If they still want me. But
as long as you keep asking questions, Hendrik's going to be here to answer your questions.
I was a little bit disappointed because the last time Damien was here and some of the people said, who's that very nice guy in the blue shirt? And I was looking at my shirt and it wasn't blue, it was Damien. So hopefully next time people will also say about me. But
Damien, if you're watching, you got a compliment.
No, it was about someone from the audience. So I will also get some things.
I'm wearing dark blue as well.
Then it will be between us. Okay.
I'll have a dark blue sweater.
Exactly. Well, Hendrik, thank you for being here once again, and hopefully see you in 2 weeks, maybe, or after. You're going to have enough questions to answer.
I'm always here.
You're always here. Well, thank you. So then, Herbert,
thank you.
It's time to wrap this show up. Now, we've been talking about several things. Of course, we had news at the beginning talking about Clubhouse, Tesla, the paper banknotes into digital currencies,
so much news.
as well as the hardware wallet that was stolen, but they can't get the money, right?
That's right.
And you had your ledger with you. You actually showed it here.
I still have it. Do you want to see it again?
Yeah, it's.
You want to have it?
Well, I have one. I have one. But I don't use it just yet. I'm still figuring that one out.
I recommend using one.
Yeah, I'm definitely eventually going to use one. It's still on the exchange. But,
it's safer.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we also spoke to Charles Nenner about different things. We had the market cycles and mass psychology. I think it's a very interesting topic. Maybe a topic that we could have spoken about a little bit more, but of course the interview was pre-recorded, so we couldn't really ask questions throughout the episode. But what do you think about market cycles? Because out of everyone here in this room, which is basically you and me, you're the one that already basically survived the multiple cycles. And this is, for me, the first cycle that I'm in. Now, what do you think about the Bitcoin market cycles, or maybe in general, the cryptocurrency cycles? What's your opinion?
The Bitcoin market is sort of ruled by emotions and by cycles, isn't it? It's very cyclical. The cycle is about 4 years. We're in the third cycle of 4 years now, and that's ruled by the halvings of the minor reward.
Yeah, the last one happened last year, right? Around
in May 2020. Yeah. That's right. But apart from this programmed events, you have the emotions of the Bitcoin investors, and you see very much time and again on every scale that the FOMO kicks in. That's emotions, right? People see the price rise and they start buying. Bitcoin is the only thing that gets more demand when the prices rise. Mostly it's the other way around. And when the prices rise and people start buying because the prices rise, you get an overshoot. And at one time you hit the wall, and the market comes crashing down. Exactly. That happens every 4 years, but it happens also on a smaller scale. And you saw that past week with Tesla, for instance.
Yeah, it went up very quick and then it went down.
It always comes down.
I'm afraid we have to wrap it up with the episode. Sure. So let's very quickly go through the schedule of the next episode, which is going to be in 2 weeks. Of course, well, this is the schedule. What changes? What changes? Bots news, bots uses, bots topic, bots around the world, and bots league. And of course, we're going to have plenty of guests to talk to. Now, if you don't follow us just yet, make sure to follow Bots TV on social media. You can find us everywhere. As well as, of course, if you have Discord, and if you don't yet have Discord, make sure to download Discord, because you can join the Bots TV Discord group. And there's many people that can also answer your questions, but that will also help you out to understand the cryptocurrency industry and all the bots that are involved in the Bots app. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Herbert, for being here. Once again, we'll be here again in 2 weeks. And hopefully you're going to have a great weekend.